friends, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, my name is Jara and I make videos about faith, lifestyle, fashion, and family. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new. So I'm just finishing up running some errands around town. I wanted to film a video today because I haven't filmed a video in about a week or so. Has it been longer? Probably. So sorry. I'll explain why. But how are you guys? I hope you're all doing well. Today, on my way home, I just wanted to kind of chat with you guys about my life lately and how I've been working on growing closer to God and working on my mental health lately. So I just wanted to kind of chat with you guys about that. I'm a little warm. I need to turn the air on. Yeah, just gonna chat while I drive. I kind of liked the last video I did like this. I don't know if you guys like these or not, so let me know if you like it. But it's kind of an easier way for me to film when I don't have a ton of spare time, or by the time I get home I don't feel motivated to film. So I'm like, might as well just talk in the car because I'm already gonna be here, so might as well be productive, right? So pretty much I was thinking of where I wanted to start this. For the past few months, I feel like I have been struggling. I feel like I've been walking through kind of a difficult situation or a difficult season, maybe I would say, not just situation, where there's been like multiple times where I thought that God was like opening a new door or helping me through it, and then all of a sudden that opportunity disappears. And I'm sure everyone can relate to that in different situations in their life, you know, where you're going through a hard season and you feel like God's finally going to bring you out of it, and then somehow it just keeps not working out over and over again, and then you're just in a season for a long time. That's how I have felt lately, which has been very hard on my faith, truthfully. I would pray, I've been praying for, you know, probably going on over a year now for something, and get my hopes up for a situation, and it feels like God is like opening a door and like getting my hopes up and thinking of all these, you know, scenarios where this will be great and this is going to happen and this is going to happen, it's going to be awesome, and then it doesn't work out, and then that happens over and over again. That's really hard sometimes. And I was getting to a place where I was like, it's hard. To be brutally honest, I was like, why, like, Lord, it doesn't feel like you're listening to me, or you're not hearing me, or you're not close to me. And I would have a hard time saying that because I feel like in the Pentecostal movement I was raised in, they like, you're never supposed to question God. You're never supposed to like have questions or like have a difficult time in your faith, no matter what. Like, push on, like keep on going, and always be upbeat, and always feel, you know, like always keep on trusting. Which I think those, like, that's not bad to say always trust God, but that's not always a realistic thing when we are humans and we are going to have doubts sometimes, and we're going to have questions, and we're going to go through hard times, you know? And so that's how I felt, where I was just at a very low point being like, what are you doing, Lord? Like, I do not understand. I don't get it. And truthfully, now I'm not in a different situation. The situation's still the same. It hasn't changed yet. It's looking like it might change. But again, I try not to get my hopes up too much, because if it's not the Lord's will and it doesn't work out, I don't want to, like, you know, have such a big breakdown like I have been. But I have been feeling different in my faith, and I have been feeling closer to God, and I kind of want to share what I've been trying to do to help myself still feel close to Him, even when I've been going through a hard time, and when He feels far away, like how to try to pursue Him and still have that relationship with Him. I think one of the first things is I had been having a difficult time. Well, I think me and Richard both kind of have had a hard time with getting community in our church. So we started going to a church when we were engaged or we were dating. And so it's been going on almost 2 years that we've been at this church. And I just feel like we've had a hard time, like, meeting new people. Me and Richard are both introverts. In general, I think with like new people and stuff, and in a social setting, we're both introverts, so we have a hard time introducing ourselves to new people, things like that. And I think for a while I was kind of upset about it, like almost upset at other people for not like randomly coming up to me, which makes no sense, like blaming others instead of taking responsibility that like I have to do the work and make connections with people in order to build community. And also sometimes it's been difficult with like going to church every single Sunday because of our schedules and going to get Cove and like all those things. And I also don't think, like, I feel like I was raised in a way where it was pretty legalistic how much you have to go to church. If the church doors were open, we were there. And church is not just an option. You always have to be at church. And I think that can be toxic, truthfully, because there are days where you might have a mental health day or a physical health day where you're not feeling well or whatever it may be, where you're not able to go to church and you need to stay home to rest, and God is still there with you at home. You know what I mean? I do think it's important to go to church and have that community, and I do think it's a different experience going to church and being in a community of believers and having worship. It's a different experience than staying home and watching a sermon. I believe that. But there has to be balance to it. So I feel like for a little bit, like our lives were getting pretty hectic and we weren't putting it as like a big priority to go as much. And I did feel that in my life, like missing church and missing the community of it. And so lately I feel like we have been making it more of a priority. We still are trying to build a community, and get to know people better and feel more connected in the church. Our schedules are very crazy, so it is hard to have like small groups and stuff, because most of the time the days they do it, we're both at work, or the nights we do it, we're going to pick up Cove or drop him off, so it doesn't really work out as much. But we've been making that effort, and it's been feeling really good, like going and listening to sermons and going to worship nights and like stuff like that. I have felt more connected, and I do feel like God does speak to me through worship a lot of the time. It's one of the main ways he speaks to me, is through worship music. Merge. I hate merging on highways. Side note. Sorry if this is gonna be a side note. My first video, my camera was a little shaky. It's probably shaky right now. I did get a replacement part for my tripod because it was messed up. I was hoping this would make it less shaky, but she looks very shaky right now. So what can you do? Anyway, so I do think going to church more has helped. We do take Cove to church with us when he's here almost every time. We've missed a couple of times because he was sick and we didn't want to expose the other kids to his virus or whatever. But we do take him to church with us, which is really special to all go together and have him go to his church. Another thing is I have been trying to, me and Richard, well, I'll say this one first, I guess. Me and Richard have made it more of a priority to try to always pray together every day and also share gratitude every day, even if it's in the morning before we go to work or at night before we go to bed. We try to talk to each other and say, you know, what are 5 things you're grateful for today? And I think that's really helped us both, and we try to pray together as much as we can, and then obviously pray individually. That has helped as well. Another thing is I've been trying to take more time to do devotions in my spare time. I did one over speaking life and the importance of our words, and I'm still doing one on the Sermon on the Mount. I've done that one for a while now. It's a book, and you follow along in the Bible and you leave. It's really good devotional, but it's pretty long, so I haven't finished it. I've been doing it for a while now, but I just do it ever so often, you know. I'm trying now to commit myself more where I'm going to do devotions at least like twice a week or so and take time to do that. I also just have been trying to, on my way to work, like in the car, I just pray to God the whole time. You know, I have like a 20-minute drive. I just talk to him. I try to be honest and speak to him, and I feel like that has helped me feel closer to him. Another thing that has helped is I've been listening to from a biblical perspective, which I really like. And I never really listened to podcasts before much, but now it's kind of nice because if I'm on a drive, I like to listen to it. And also with me and Richard driving so much to get Cove and stuff, we listen to podcasts together too, different ones, but we like to listen to 30 minutes with the Perrys together. So that's really helped. Also, I've been going on walks as much as I can, even if it's just to take out our dog Coda, or we go on walks together as a family with us and Cove and Coda. But being outside in nature really helps me feel connected to God. And being intentional with that, I think, really clears my mind sometimes. And then before I go into the mental health thing, I think those are the main things that I've been doing with my relationship with God side of it. But one that ties in both of them, also, besides the podcast, is I decided to do a social media break. I took a week off of social media, and truthfully, it was really hard for me. I feel like I am addicted to social media, and I'm addicted to like scrolling, for real. I felt that toll on me so strong, and I just told Richard, I was like, I need to take a break from social media, because literally I feel like I would like obsessively feel the urge to have to scroll all the time, and I would feel so drained by it and unfulfilled and just feel crappy in general. Like even if I was just at work or doing something, like my mind would be like, you need to scroll, like, and I wouldn't even enjoy it. You know what I mean? It just felt like mindless scrolling. So I was like, I need to take a break from social media. So I took a week off where I didn't get on at all, any platforms really. And I just felt like it was kind of a breakthrough for me. And I felt like I just have become way more intentional with my time now. Even now that I'm off my break, I don't get on social media hardly as much as I used to, honestly. Like even now, if I click on an app like TikTok or Instagram and I start scrolling, I pretty much stop that pretty quickly because I'm like, I don't feel good. My mind is drained. I don't want to scroll, you know? It's too overstimulating for me, and I become obsessive over stuff really easily. So I feel like just doing that break from it has helped me even now. So for the mental health side of it, like I said, podcast, I have been wanting to focus on my anxiety. I've been wanting to focus on my purpose and becoming more aware of my thoughts and overthinking, like obsessive thinking. So a few new podcasts that I found, well, the Mama Collective, the Morning Mama one is great for this as well, for the mental health side of it. I love her content, like I said. Another one I think is called Anxiety Toolkit. I don't believe that she is a faith-based podcast, but she has a great insight of mental health and anxiety topics. I believe she used to be, or no, she still is a therapist. So is the Morning Mama lady. She used to be a family's therapist, I believe. But I feel like for a while I was in really bad anxiety. Besides the situation I mentioned earlier, there was a separate situation with a person in my life where this person just had a lot of control over my mind, and it made me very anxious. They had said some very hurtful personal things to me, like a personal attack, and my mind just obsessed over that for months and months. And I would have anxiety if I was going to see them, if I had to talk to them. And this isn't like just a coworker or a friend in my life that I could just cut off. This is a person I have to see and have to communicate with. And so I was just in a really bad mental space over this situation. So I was very obsessive. I truly believe that listening to these podcasts really did open my eyes and help me understand my anxiety and my obsessive thinking. I'm currently not in therapy, but I want to be. I'm switching between therapists. The therapist I was previously with, I feel like it was time for me to move on to a different therapist. It just felt like it was time for me. So I don't currently have a therapist, but I want to be in therapy. But since I'm not right now, I do feel like these podcasts have been a good outlet for me to try to understand some different stuff, even if I'm not currently in therapy. So I recommend that to you if you're not in therapy or you can't afford to be in therapy right now, there are still avenues to try to help you work on yourself. So my struggles has been overthinking, being obsessive, and what I learned, I didn't know this word before, but it's called ruminating, which is pretty much overthinking and being obsessive and just like really thinking about these toxic things over and over and over and over again. And so what I've learned is with anxiety, there's like general anxiety that's like healthy, where alarms will go off in your brain if it feels like you're in danger, right? But when you struggle with like, I don't remember the word, it's not general anxiety, but the next level, obsessive thinking, whatnot, your mind can think that there's danger in all these other areas. So pretty much I've been really trying to practice, it's a habit. You have to literally retrain your brain, because these are all habits that you formed. Like anytime this obsessive thought would pop up in my mind, or this person would, I would have to think to myself, it's not a problem. I'm safe. I'm not in danger. Your brain literally thinks you're in danger over this. And I'll link the podcast below where I listened to, where she really talks about this and how to like help with your anxiety and what causes anxiety. But like I've been doing that. I've probably been focusing more on my mental health in the past couple months, trying to help myself, because I was honestly at such a bad place mentally. I was exhausted from my mind, and I do feel much more at peace now. I'm still working on a lot, and I still struggle with some things like that, but I feel like specifically my overthinking has gotten a lot better, and I feel like my mind has been at ease. So another thing I've been doing to help my mental health has been journaling. So I will look up like some self-growth or self-discovery or healing prompts, like journal prompts, and I will just write out a prompt and answer it and just write out for a while, whatever. And I feel like it's been helpful. I feel like really taking the time to be genuine and honest with yourself and realize it's okay to admit that you have your struggles or whatever it is a great place to be, where my squeaky car is a great place to be where you can move forward and actually grow from that. Because if you are in denial about having places you need to work on in yourself, you're never going to grow from it, because you don't think that there's anything that needs to be done. You have to put in the work to actually change your bad habits or your toxic traits. I think some other things that have just helped me in general is, for a while, I would just like my social media, kind of feel the urge to have to watch something on TV that I didn't even enjoy. And so lately I've actually found a show that I love, that I watched growing up, that's very like wholesome, low stimulating. It's not anything crazy, and I feel at peace when I watch it. It's actually like a show about an old Western called Dr. Quinn, the Medicine Woman, that I watched growing up. I used to watch a lot of Westerns with my grandparents when I was growing up, so it's very wholesome to me. And I found it on Prime, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to start watching this because I don't remember it. So me and Richard watch it together, and it's just like very calming to me and wholesome. And again, I don't watch it just to be watching something, but I've actually found myself being able to enjoy it. And I've been drawing a lot more. I don't think I talked about it on here, but I've been getting into my digital art again, but in a different way, where now I'm just drawing for fun. I actually haven't even posted any of my art lately. I've just been doing it for myself and to find that joy in it again. And so I'm just finding the slow things in life that bring me happiness and bring me joy, like cooking and reading more and, all the small stuff. The small stuff is what's important. And I just feel so much better, truthfully. And there's still lots of stuff I need to work on and still need to prioritize in my life. But in general, I feel like these have been some good steps to take to improve my mental health and my relationship with God. I think that's everything. I felt like there might have been another thing that I forgot. But anyway, those are the my tips of what's helped me lately. If you have any things that help you in your dark seasons and your struggles, please leave it below for everyone to see. I'd love to read it. And I'm going to try... Oh, I forgot to mention. One of the reasons why I haven't been posting is because I've been taking a break from social media and trying to slow down my life. I think that's what I was going to mention earlier. So that's why I haven't been posting on here, as I didn't really feel as motivated to film and trying to focus on this other stuff. Also, I've become so obsessive with the numbers lately. I'm trying to take a step back so it doesn't become so much about the numbers, because it is disheartening when my content doesn't, perform like I wish, which I talked about in my previous car talk video. But anyway, so I'm not even sure what I'll be filming next. If I do a Bible study or something like that, that would be fun. Or from my last video talking about leaving the Pentecostal church, some people asked for some videos off of that. So maybe I'll do something like that. I'm not sure yet. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I hope you're all doing well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new, and hit the like button. It means a lot to me. And just let me know how you guys are doing. I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. And I'm happy for our little community we have here. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.